Story time. I have a golden gem to share with you. It will encourage you to truly believe that you can accomplish anything that you want, no matter how remotely possible it is seeming right now, even if it doesn't seem realistic. Let me tell you what happened. I think maybe a month ago, not even that long ago, I came across a 8-hour affirmation tape. And it was on a subject that, to tell you the truth, even now I kind of don't like the word, but I challenged myself to listen to this on YouTube. I call it a tape. You can probably tell how old I am now. Listen to it on YouTube every night for 1 month. Now, I had already created this habit just on the fly a couple months ago, maybe almost a year ago now. I realized that I needed to rebuild my feelings of safety and security and love on the inside, because your baseline of safety, security, and love does affect your job, your money, your relationships, your success. If you're trying to pass an exam right now, trying to get a job or get promoted right now, trying to get married or create a stable, loving household, your self-love, your feelings of safety, your self-talk, all of that really has a huge impact on how far you go and how easy that journey is. Just imagine you trying to make progress while somebody's constantly criticizing you. A lot of people aren't aware of how unhealthy their self-talk is. So I realized that even though I had gotten so far in life, most of what had propelled me forward was some negative criticism type of motivation. And that might have worked when I was little. That might have worked to get through military boot camp and all the other things that I've done, but it wasn't working anymore. The emotional impact of those kinds of words was taking away from what I needed to get done, especially as what I was trying to do leaves the realm of like concrete, get a degree, pass an exam, and started to travel more into the realm of creating things out of thin air. When you're trying to be in that creative space, then the negative type A type of talk doesn't work. And so as I peeled that away, I realized that what was left was this really damaged inner child, because, the way I've been treating her all these years. So I had to reparent that. Long story short, I came across this person on YouTube, Jessica Heslop. I'll drop her name in the description box below. And she has a slew of affirmations recorded that are meant to program your mind to accept new things without much effort. And the way you do this is by pressing play and going to sleep. And these affirmations permeate your subconscious mind and start to move you towards being that person, or treating yourself that way, or believing those beliefs. And for many of them, what I would find is that in my waking hours, after having listened to the recording for maybe 2 weeks or more, my waking hours, I'd find myself paying more attention to these subjects, whatever the recording was that I was listening to. At first, I could sometimes hear her very voice in my head during the day, probably when I got stressed, or maybe my own voice on autopilot was telling myself something critical, and then her voice seemed to come in and answer that voice back. But what I found is that after the 30 days, I would just move on to the next recording, quite honestly, just trusting that it took effect. And quite frankly, my life in that area would change. And namely, what would happen is I would see myself signing up for a workshop, or listening to some channel on YouTube that I'd never listened to before, coming across a book, maybe downloading it to my Kindle. I'd be going into resources that take me deeper into that subject and help me build my conscious knowledge of self-love, if that's what I was listening to for 30 days, or reparenting your inner child, if that's what I was listening to for 30 days, or self-esteem and confidence, if that's what I was listening to, or weight loss, if that's what I was listening to. Whatever it was I was listening to, after the 30 days, I began seeing myself consciously Google articles, watch YouTube videos, and kind of go down that path of consciously building up the knowledge. And what I realized is that subconsciously, I had tricked my brain or broke down the barrier, or whatever it was, the initial barrier to that thing had been taken away, so that now I was open to learning about, receiving, and implementing the subject area in my life. So interesting. And now looking back, I can see where that pretty much happened with regularity for every single thing. But today I popped on to start this recording because it occurred to me just this evening. I was telling a friend of mine, I was talking with her about manifestation and explaining it to her in scientific/psychological terms so that she could accept it, because a lot of people are thrown off just by the use of the words of manifestation. It's really just like gravity, okay? And whether you know about gravity or not, it still works. It's still working on you. Same thing with manifesting. So in talking with her, I mentioned this thing and I said, well, it just takes, and I hate the word, but discipline. And then I thought, actually, I don't hate that word. I used to hate that word, but I'm actually very into discipline right now. And I'm like, who? And then I just passed on because I was talking to her about it, so I didn't dwell too much on that topic. But just tonight, as I'm scrolling through YouTube looking for some affirmations on a specific topic, I scrolled past the discipline affirmations recording that I had listened to every night for a whole month, probably somewhere around Christmas, New Year's time. Maybe I started in early December, but for sure, I've been done with listening to it for a few weeks now. So it was a while ago. Listen to it every night, 30 nights for 30 nights. And in the last week and a half, I have been super committed to adopting discipline in areas that I never imagined disciplining myself before. Areas that by nature people think should be loosey-goosey. I realized that actually if I built in some systems, strategies, and processes around making sure that I journal every day, making sure that I visualize every day, making sure that I repeat my affirmations every day, like not just doing it whenever I remember, but actually making some systems to make sure I do it. And it dawned on me, you know what, that's how really successful people get really successful. They're disciplined, yes, but at the right things, not at clocking in and clocking out of work or showing up 15 minutes early and all that stuff that basically the general population who wants to work for a living and get handed a paycheck, there's nothing wrong with that at all. But that's the level of discipline that we're taught. Show up to school on time, turn in your papers on time, show up to work on time, get your projects done on time, and be happy and merry and retire and maybe have something left in your 401k due to the stock market. I'm not about that life. I watched my dad retire in his 40s, and I know that there's a different way to live. So the discipline that I need to adopt as a creator, as a wealth builder, is going to be discipline around how I use my mind, because it's the use of your mental faculties that builds wealth that outpaces what you could do if you were clocking in and out for somebody. How you use your mind. And that most definitely can be disciplined. Highlighted by one talk with a client today who was telling me that he wants to grow into the man that God wants him to be. He wants to be the best of everything that he can be. But when the opportunities come, he wants to see them and move into them organically without having to, switch a flip in his brain and orient himself to doing the thing. He wants to just flow into doing the thing. And I get that. I get the desire for it to just flow easily. And for many years, I lived like that. And then I started to be exposed to this idea of strategies and systems and regularity. And then I kind of did that because I invested like $30,000 into learning how to be that way as a business owner. And then I came away from that. At the end of those 2 years, I still kind of went back to my own ways. And I saw the results of that. And then it occurred to me, instilling discipline in the right way gives you freedom to do what you want to do. So because I have some systems and structures in place today, I can afford to spend 4 hours a day meditating, visualizing, journaling, thinking about my thoughts, just hanging out with me. I can afford to do that because I implement systems and processes that make the other stuff that needs to happen quickly. So I'm bringing this all full circle. Bear with me because I'm processing the fact that something that I was pretty much like allergic to, which is discipline, which you wouldn't believe because I joined the military, right? But you better believe that at every formation, the drill sergeant, the instructor, the whoever was at the head of the formation was going, "Where's Duclair?" Because I was always the one that wasn't where I was supposed to be. Okay. So yeah, I wanted to be disciplined though. I think I wanted to have some kind of structure, but I was really a free spirit. So anyway, I needed the discipline, but it's something that I had a love-hate relationship with. And listening to an affirmation recording all night for 30 nights got me past that allergy to discipline. And next thing you know, I'm paying for courses that turn out to be all about discipline. And I'm realizing that I know what to do to get what I want. The only thing that has been missing is discipline. And honestly, even if what you want is to manifest things, which just sounds loosey-goosey, airy-fairy, but even if what you want is to manifest things, you still need discipline to start off the process. The people who manifest faster are the people who are disciplined about focusing on what they want and focusing on feeling like the person who has what they want, being that person. When they focus on the feeling of it, then you do move almost effortlessly into doing whatever you need to do to get there because you're so focused on the feeling of it that you don't feel like the work you're doing is actually work. It just feels like natural, like what I'm supposed to be doing. So discipline is what makes them focus so steadily that they notice the opportunities, they hear the right words, they see and read the right emails more frequently. And if you notice the right opportunities and act upon them more frequently, you'll get to where you're going faster. Now, for people who sometimes, let's take the bar exam and becoming an attorney, since at the time of this recording, most of you on the channel, that's what you're looking at. The person who is sometimes putting themselves in the mind frame of, I love being an attorney. I love the impact that I have on other people's lives. I love bringing home a healthy paycheck. This is so great. I love that I am setting this example for the generations that come after me. I'm so happy to be free to shape my career as I want. The world is my oyster. I can do what I want. I'm so happy to be done with this bar exam. I'm so grateful for the smarts, work ethic, support, and blessings that have gotten me this far. I'm just so grateful and thankful for being where I am today. I'm so happy about what's to come. Wow, I love being an attorney. And that's just an example of the kinds of thoughts and feelings that you focus on and you keep in your mind. Even though as we speak, you're right now cracking open your laptop to practice some MBEs. Your mind is on, I love being an attorney. I love my life this way. I love what I get to do every day. I love that I get to make this kind of income and have these choices. And oh great, I qualify for a new home loan now because I've been working here for 2 years. This is where the discipline comes in, bringing your mind there each time, even if you just finished a set of practice questions and got back a 40%. Even if you just finished an essay, you sent it off to the tutor, you got it back with like all kinds of comments on it that makes you feel like you haven't learned a thing. Bypassing that and living in your end result, which is, I love being an attorney. I love that I get to be here right now. I love that I have choices. I love that I can stay here or leave and switch careers if I want to. I love that I feel complete. That's discipline. Whenever you get pulled out of it, going back to that place, that's where the discipline comes in. And what I found is that when your heart believes, I love to be an attorney, not only will you pass the bar exam easy peasy, but you will also find a place to work where you will love being an attorney, because you've already given your brain the command many times over that you love being an attorney. So now it knows that it needs to make that reality come true for you. And so you notice the opportunities, you go to the right places where you receive word of mouth, notice about a job that's coming open, you do the things that will get you there. And the reason why people want to make this a airy fairy manifesting type of a thing is because usually when you're getting there, you don't know that the step you're taking is getting you there. It's not until you get there and you look back that you see how it all falls into place. And at that point, you can be tempted to say it was going to happen that way anyway. But I believe that had you not focused on getting there, you could have made a left instead of a right and not ended up there. So the recap of this talk is that you don't have to push through the blocks by brute force. It really does work to pop on an affirmations tape. Make sure the affirmations are phrased positively. So I suggest Jessica Heslop. There are some others out there, but very few of them feel as good to me as hers do. And I've been studying affirmations and ways to put meditations together in a hypnotherapy fashion for years. So when I go through YouTube, you can tell the people who haven't really studied it very hard and those who know what they're doing. Jessica Heslop knows what she's doing. She phrases them in that positive way, and she even gives you two versions of them so that you can choose the ones that feel more believable to you, whether I am, or she has a version that says you are, with the same affirmations. You start off with you are if you can't really quite take it in yet, but when you feel comfortable with it, then you can start listening to the I am versions, and it's you saying it to yourself. In any event, as I scrolled through and I found her affirmations and they sat well with me, I love the fact that she has them on all kinds of topics. So I would choose the one that I was working on or that I wanted to be working on in the current moment, and I would play those at night. They do sink into your subconscious mind. They do get you moving. They start the momentum for you. And then the momentum picks up, and then in your waking life, you're doing the things that help to cement that as your new reality. That's what happens. And I just decided to come and record this and put this information out there so that you can know of an easy way to basically hack your life. I gotta find a better term than hack. But at the moment, the point is that you can change very easily if you're willing to go straight to the subconscious mind and start there. And you don't even have to spend hours of your waking life journaling and using questions that provoke your subconscious mind to think things through, which is how I make my living. So I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. But you don't have to even put in that much effort at the forefront, especially if it's something that you're like completely against. Or let's say you're 300 pounds. As long as you can remember, you've always been morbidly obese, and you couldn't even begin to think positively about losing weight. It's something that you want, but everything that would take to get you there, you hate. This is a perfect time to use affirmations that play at night in the background, because your conscious mind is not awake refuting every single affirmation that's being said. It sinks into your subconscious mind, and with repetition, 21 to 30 days of repetition, your mind begins to change. The resistance that you had to the subject begins to fall away. Like today when I said something about I hate the word discipline, and I said, actually, that's not true anymore. And it just kind of like me saying what the old Jennifer would say, and then realizing I'm not her anymore. And it literally, that's as I just scrolled through my YouTube feed and saw the video on, affirmations for discipline, I remembered, oh, I've done that one already. And then it clicked. Literally my last 2-3 weeks has been discipline stuff after discipline stuff, creating new strategies, cementing it in, setting the alarms on my phone, checking in with my accountability about something, making it into a habit. It's there, it's set, great. Now tack the next habit onto it. That's habit hacking. Again, we need to find a new word. Suggest one if you know of one. Habit hacking, adding the new habit that I want onto an already established one. So now it's like I erected the Christmas tree and now I'm hanging all the ornaments onto it. Or you set the first foundational Lego block and then now you're putting new Lego blocks on top of what you already have. This is what I've done. I started out with one habit, cemented it in 14 to 21 days, really. Accountability buddy really helps. And then I started adding other habits on top of it. And so now I have this well-oiled machine of habits that are really skyrocketing me through my goals. And that all started with me listening to this 8-hour thing about discipline affirmations every night. And then I naturally started to look for how to become more disciplined. It wasn't something that I was consciously looking for. It's just that when somebody presented a workshop or a seminar or a thing to me, I was like, ooh, that looks nice. I would be attracted to the things that were going to build my discipline without even realizing why I was being attracted to it. It just looks so nice. I want to sign up. This is what happens when your subconscious mind has been changed into being who you want to be. When your subconscious mind is already on board, then the stuff you have to do on the outside happens very quickly and easily. It's something you desire. And even if you think that there's a hurdle in the way, you will look for how to clear out that hurdle because there's something inside you that pulls you towards that teaching, that workshop, that activity, that friend, that destination, that next step that takes you to whatever it is that you had begun working on in your subconscious mind. I share this with you to say that if you're looking to kind of magically pull yourself forward with the bar exam, then look below now. It may already be out. I'm recording bar exam specific affirmations, specific to you and what you're going through. Now, I've searched YouTube for this. Maybe it's on iTunes and Spotify, things that I don't use, but it's not on YouTube. I saw something that was like 1 minute and 52 seconds long, and it was a letdown. So I'm recording bar exam affirmations and I'm making them available to the public for free. A lot of my visualizations and meditations to help you pass the bar exam are already available either by opting in with an email or otherwise just YouTubing it and searching it on YouTube, because it's the first thing I learned how to do to hack the subconscious mind. And years later, it's still the most effective way to hack the subconscious mind is to press play on a meditation, a visualization, or a set of affirmations and just let it ride. 30 days, you're good. I'm going to release my own bar exam affirmations recording. Is going to be linked below. If not right now while you're listening, then it will be linked as soon as I finish producing it. And it will be something that you can loop. YouTube now has the option to loop. Hopefully that option stays for life. But if it doesn't stay for life and it disappears someday, someone let me know and I may go in there and loop it myself and create an 8-hour version. But for now, I'll create a 1-hour version that you can hit loop in your settings on YouTube and just play it all night and allow yourself to take in the subconscious mind reprogramming to pass your bar exam and watch yourself change on the outside and on a conscious level as a result of simply listening to these affirmations. I've got you. Check the description box for all kinds of stuff that I already have out here for you and for the things that I promised you in this recording today. Jennifer DeClaire, the Bar Exam Mentor. If you want to reach out to me directly, my website is jenniferdeclaire.com, or you can email contact@jenniferdeclaire.com and I'll be happy to chat with you. Talk to you soon.